Hello, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. Thank you for joining me for today's video. We will be talking about the disappearance of Susan Walsh. Susan Walsh was born Susan Young on February 18th, 1960. She aspired to be a poet from a young age. Walsh attended William Paterson University, where she studied English and writing. While there, she was employed as a journalist for the university newspaper. Walsh worked intermittently as an erotic dancer and stripper to help pay her tuition. Notwithstanding her struggles with substance abuse and alcoholism, she graduated from college with a bachelor's degree in 1988, and afterward worked as a writer for engineering and business publications. She was later employed as a writer for Screw magazine. She married Mark Walsh, a brother of musician Joe Walsh, in 1984. The couple had one son, David, born 1985. On July 16, 1996, Walsh left her apartment complex in Nutley, New Jersey, which she shared with her son. Her estranged husband, Mark, lived below them. Walsh had left to run errands and make a telephone call at a payphone across the street, leaving her son for the time being in the care of his father. It was the last time that Walsh was seen. At the time of her disappearance, she had been enrolled in a master's program in English at New York University, which she had halfway completed while supporting herself and her son by working as a freelance journalist and in various jobs as a stripper. At the time of her disappearance, her friends had become worried that she had relapsed into her drug addiction after having maintained 11 years of sobriety. Police were able to eliminate Walsh's ex-husband as a suspect in her vanishing. It was noted later that the page for the entire month of July 1996 was missing from Walsh's calendar in her apartment. Although police had few clues to follow up on their investigation, rumors circulated that Walsh's disappearance might have been connected to the investigative journalism she had been doing at the time. Walsh had penned an in-depth report published in the Village Voice about a strip club ring in which members of the Russian mafia were allegedly forcing young girls into the sex industry. Following this article, Walsh had also explored an underground vampire community in New York City, but the newspaper did not run the story as it felt Walsh's writing on the matter was not objective. Ultimately, police were unable to establish any connections between Walsh's disappearance and her work on either article. Walsh established a friendship with journalist James Ridgway during her time writing for The Voice, with Ridgway referring to her as his most reliable writer. At the time, Walsh had also participated in a documentary produced by her friend Jill Morley titled Stripped, which detailed women working in the sex industry. Walsh was recorded in a group interview for the film on July 14, 1996, 2 days before her disappearance, during which she made a reference to having a stalker. She also hired herself out to a German documentary crew making a film about Russian immigrants becoming go-go dancers, and was also in the midst of developing a documentary on the subject with the BBC shortly after her disappearance. Walsh's last work was her contributions to the book Red Light Inside the Sex Industry by James Ridgway and Sylvia Platschi. Walsh served as the primary researcher for the book and also contributed photographs and personal writings within a month before her disappearance. In a 2006 article in the New York Post, it was noted that Walsh had confided to a former boyfriend that another of her ex-boyfriends had been stalking her. Additionally, the article stated that her husband Mark had refused to allow police to perform forensic testing of their home. If you have any information regarding the disappearance of Susan Walsh, please contact the Nutley Police Department at 973-284-4940 or call the New Jersey State Police 800-709-7090. Thank you for listening. If you like this type of content, please consider subscribing and liking my channel, and I will see you on the next one.